Hello, everyone. Welcome to the first episode of a very interesting series. This is going to be a let's play of the online rhythm game named Osu. Now, if you're familiar with this game, you might be thinking, what exactly is an Osu let's play? Right? This is not really the typical sort of game where, there's a story that you can follow and a quest or, um like achievements to unlock or anything like that. Um, Osu is a very independent sort of game, and in that sense, you sort of create your own story. And I think that is sort of the appeal of the game. And so in this Let's Play series, I'm basically hoping to use it as a platform to share my own story, my own experiences, things that I know about the game, and I can share it with you guys. So, any tips about the game and even like navigating the Osu client as a whole, or just bits about gameplay in order to improve in that regard? Tournaments that I might be playing in. This game has a very active community in that sense, being a game that doesn't necessarily have a story or really any right or wrong way to play. It's very community driven, and the community is really what gives it life. And I think personally, I think that is one of the main appeals is that I think everyone has their own story when it comes to Usu, and this is going to be my platform to share one of those many stories with you guys. So, a couple things before we get started. Um, the so as far as things that you're going to see on the screen, so the skin that I'm using, which is the I guess visuals of what the game looks like, those are all free and downloadable, and the one that I'm using I will have linked in the description. Um, for the sake of explaining the game, I'm going to assume that many people watching this sort of already know how the game works. Um, Although a brief explanation, and you'll sort of see when I get into gameplay, is that there's music playing, and then there's circles that are placed around the screen to the beat of that song, and you have to click on them uh, accurately in time with the music. It gets very complicated, but there's a very simple premise to it. So that is that. So I have two add-ons on the screen. There's a key overlay right here where my little whale cursor is. Um, so two buttons. There's a bunch of different ways to play this game. Um, Effectively, all you need to do is move your cursor to each circle and then click on it. So you can click either with your mouse buttons or with keyboard buttons. So since there's two mouse buttons, you can either use those two buttons, which both do the same thing, they just click, or you can use two keyboard buttons, which is what I do. So so by default, those buttons are Z and X, or Z and X, and I have them remapped to the numbers 2 and 3. So if I click one of them, this little overlay, I guess it looks better in game when the background is black, but it'll sort of map out the taps and the duration of my clicks. So nice little visual. This was made a couple of days ago and posted on the Osu subreddit by a user named Blondaz. Hopefully saying that right. So I will link that in the description in case you want to add it to your own gameplay videos or Osu live streams. And the other add-on, which you'll see when we get in game, is a tracker for my unstable rate, which is basically a number that measures how accurately I'm tapping. Lower number is better. It's a little complicated, so you don't really need to understand it too deeply. But yeah, let's go ahead and get started. So you may have already guessed by the song title, or by the video title, but I have thought a lot about what map to start off this series with, and I figured there's no better choice than the absolute classic of Gold Dust. So uh, let's get into it. So in order to get to your song list, okay, yeah. So throughout this series, I'm gonna try very hard to show you guys a lot of shortcuts and things that you can do in the game so that you have that knowledge. So yeah, the first thing that I will introduce you is how to get to the song select in the first place. So there's three different ways to do that. So obviously you click on the OSU cookie, it's called, this big OSU circle on the menu, and click on it, and that gives you these panels. So obviously we want to play the game, so we will click on this button. But you can also click on the OSU cookie again, and that will also click on the play button. Or there's a third way, and if we go back, is if you don't have your mouse for whatever reason, you can press the P button on your keyboard, and that will also press play. So then again, we are going to be playing single player, so we can click on this button, or we can click the OSU cookie again, or the third way is we can press the P button again, not S for some reason, but we press P again. Oh, and that will take you to the song list. So basically, it's not really sure how to describe this. It's basically just a menu of a bunch of different songs. I call them panels. I'm not really sure what they're actually called, but I have it sorted by artist name. So yeah, it's a bunch of different songs. I'm just using my scroll wheel to scroll through them. Oh, another thing. Okay, so scrolling through your song list. Okay, there's so many things about this game client that I think are not very well documented. So any type of efficiency or optimized way of going through your game, I will try to explain. So you can hold down left click, right where you see where my whale cursor is. Hold down left click to scroll through, and you can sort of scroll and let go, and you see the panels will scroll like that. Or you can use your scroll wheel, obviously. Or if you press right click, so you see this white scrub bar on the very edge of my screen. If you hold right click, that is how you control that. So, okay, as you can tell, I have a lot of songs downloaded. But yeah, I'm just holding down right click and moving my cursor. Or I can just click right click somewhere and it'll jump the scrub bar over there. And then if you want to jump back to the song that you're on, because now I'm like somewhere random in my song list and I don't know how to get back. So you move your cursor over to the leaderboard like this on the left of the screen, and that will take you back to the song that you have selected. So yeah, I was gonna say something, but I don't remember. Yeah. Oh, okay. Actually, I just thought of this, but starting a map is another thing that there's many different ways to do. So my skin has all these fancy customized menu, basically. But actually, I'll switch. If I press Control O, I'll open my options and switch to the default skin so I can show you guys this. This is the default look, what the game will look like if you or when you download it for the first time. There's 3 different ways to start a map. Either you click on the panel that you have selected. So when you have it selected, it'll be white by default like this. These are other difficulties, what they're called, or diffs for short, of the same song. So you can click on each of them to select them and it'll turn white. And then in order to start the map, you can either click on the panel, or you can click on this pulsing OSU cookie that's in the corner. You click on that and that'll enter you into the map. Or you can press the enter button if you don't want to click on anything or move your cursor. So yeah, this is the skin that I use. Again, if you press Control O, it'll open your options menu no matter where you are in the game. And I think a lot of people, maybe, yeah, if I go back, you can also go to the options from here in your game menu, but yeah, let's get started. So OSU, again, actually, it's one of those games that's a bit tricky to talk while you're playing, but I'll do my best. People have told me that I'm pretty decent at talking while I play, so hopefully that will not be a problem. So there's 2 different types of objects, or 3 actually. So there's 3 different types of game objects in this game. So there's simple circles, where you just sort of click on them. So there's a ring. How do I explain this? I'm sure most of you watching know exactly what I'm talking about, but each circle has another bigger circle that closes in on it, and once that bigger circle closes in on the circle, that is when you're supposed to click. The second type of object, so those are called circles. The second type of object is called a slider, and the sliders are the ones that have like a little body, gray colored body, basically. And so what you do, they start with the circle, and so you click on it at the starting point, but then you have to hold down your key that you're pressing, either your mouse button or your keyboard button, and you have to hold down the button and move your cursor through the what's called slider body. It's a little cylinder type thing. So there's that. So that's called a slider. One thing to note about sliders is that you do not control the speed of the slider. You have to follow it based on its speed. So these sliders here are a bit slower. But my cursor has to move at the speed of the slider. The slider doesn't follow my cursor. So you don't just like shove your cursor through the slider, right? These sliders are very short, right? So I have to make sure my cursor is moving at the right speed. And the third kind of object in the game, so there's circles so far and sliders, and the third one is called spinner. The spinner is, oh, this one right here, yeah. So you just put your cursor in the middle of the screen, hold down your button, and just spin in a circle as fast as you can. There's no accuracy component to it. Well, there is. Well, you have to spin enough to clear the spinner, but other than that, there's no accuracy requirement, so to speak. You don't have to spin in a certain way. There's this sort of, not argument, but I'm not really sure what to call it, but this divide between players of the direction that you spin, either clockwise or counterclockwise. So, but either way is okay. I'm pretty sure some statistics have been done, like surveys of OSU players, and it's pretty 50-50, this spin a direction, but or like whether people spin clockwise or counterclockwise, but yeah, no accuracy component there, but you can see, how do I describe this? In the top center of my screen, there's a little pie chart that's almost complete, and that is the song completion, I guess, is how far we are in the song. Which, okay, I guess strange timing, but basically I was trying to show that the map was almost over. So, okay, this is the result screen. There's a bunch of statistics here. There's letter grade, which, yeah, so your score gets a letter grade from SS, and then S, and then A, B, C, D, or yeah, that's it. It ends at D. So you can get an SS, which is 100% accuracy, which I happened to get lucky and get while I was talking somehow. But yeah, so there's a bit of criteria for each letter grade, but basically if you don't miss, then if you don't miss and your accuracy is good enough, then you get an S rank. And if you do miss, then you get an A rank, and then if your accuracy is lower and lower, then you'll end up getting a B rank or C rank or D rank. There's some details on that. There's a wiki page that explains it much better than I can, so I'll have that linked in the description as well. But result screen shows you your maximum combo, which is your, I guess, chain of how many hits you got in a row. That one, during gameplay, that was the number that was in the bottom left. So that is that every time I hit something or followed a slider correctly, then it would give me one combo, and that is just a score multiplier, basically. So, okay, maybe I shouldn't have gotten an SS because it makes it harder to explain how this works. But basically, accuracy. So if you tap a circle perfectly on beat, then you will get a 300, it's called, which means that you hit it perfectly. So you get 300 points, and then that gets multiplied by your combo to add to your score. So if you hit the circle a little off beat, but you still hit it, then you'll get a 100. Yeah, 100 points times your combo, and that gets added to your score. But you get lower accuracy, basically. So accuracy is an average of all the numbers that you got. So a 300 adds hitting a 300 is 100% accuracy because that's the most accurate you can hit, and then a 100 is 33% of that, so you will get 33% accuracy. So if, for example, if the whole map is just one circle and you got a 100, then your accuracy would be 33%. But yeah, so that is that. And then if you hit the object very far, very inaccurately, but you still hit it, then you'll get a 50. So that's the criteria for circles. And then obviously if you end up not hitting a note, then you will get a miss, which is 0% towards your accuracy, and 50s, right? 50s are 16.6%. Very specific number, but do the math, it should be pretty obvious. But yeah, so that's accuracy for circles. Sliders are a bit different. They're a bit more complicated, and that's something that we can talk about a bit later. But basically, sliders have sort of multiple steps or multiple parts. So like depending on how many parts of that slider you hit will determine if you get a 300, 100, or 50, rather than your timing accuracy, which is something that's actually changing soon. But yeah, that is how it works for now. So other stuff here. So there's a retry button to play the map again. There's a replay, which doesn't mean play the map again. It means it is to watch your own replay of, or basically recording of that score that you just did. So you click on that and to watch the score that you just did. There's this performance chart at the bottom, and if I put my mouse over it, there's a bunch of scary data and numbers, which is not super important, but well, it is kind of important, but it's not something to worry too much if you're very new to the game. But basically, it just shows you some statistics on your tapping accuracy, and you see that number actually, the third row there that says unstable rate. That is the number that I was talking about. That's like above. It's like in the bottom middle of my screen. So yeah, some detailed information there. I do have a video on my YouTube channel that goes very into the nitty-gritty of OSU and like all the different skills. And so if you're very interested in learning more, maybe you're already somewhat experienced with the game, and for some reason you're still listening to this basic explanation that I'm doing right now. But if you really want to learn a lot about the different skills in the game, I'd recommend checking that video out. I'll have it linked in the description, or the little YouTube feature video where it'll pop up right here in the video. But yeah, so there's this button, online ranking, at the bottom of my screen. If I click on that, it'll jump down to this screen, which also is just if I just scroll down, or if I move this scroll bar. I'm pretty sure it's called scroll bar. I don't know why I'm saying scrub, but if I move this bar down, more information. This is more about your score details. A lot of stuff here is pretty self-explanatory. If you want, you can pause the screen and read it. But basically just some statistics about my score and my score relative to everyone else in the world on this map, and then also my overall profiles ranking as well. And this is just my little user panel, so to speak, has my username, avatar, all that stuff, my global rank. There's some options here that I think many people actually don't even know exist. But there's checkboxes if you want to save the replay or download the replay file to your replays folder, and click on that button. Alternatively, I think this is probably what's more popular, is if you just press F2 on your keyboard, that will also export the replay. You press F2 while you're on the result screen, that will export the replay to your replays folder. Or you can also add the map as an online favorite, which shows up on your profile. And then down here, you can give the map a rating. Another thing that I think is kind of overlooked, but I really like giving maps ratings. So you can give from 1 to 10, and you will see that rating on the beatmap listing on the website when you look for new songs. But I will give this map a 10 out of 10. This map is awesome, super classic, and then it'll tell you the average rating that the map has. And some more statistics about the map. Shows you the username of the person who created it, and how many plays ever since the map got ranked, which means like ever since it first got a leaderboard where people could compete on it and submit scores. So that is that. That is the result screen, the song. Oh, and yeah, I ended up beating my old score, which is from I think 2016. So this is the global ranking, all the people who, I guess this is the best of the best score-wise. The score is insane. Actually, all these scores are insane. There are so many insane scores in this game. Okay, I will go on about that probably in future episodes. But yeah, so the name colors, by the way, in case you're not sure, the names that are gold just means that I have those people added on my friend list, my own personal friend list. So this is the global ranking, and then down here it shows my online personal best as well. I click on my, so I guess if I click on this drop down, there's a couple different options. So some of the leaderboards are only available if you have something called Osu Supporter, which is a monetary subscription type thing. It's like $4 a month, or discounted if you get it in bulk. But anyway, just a couple different perks. The game itself is free to play, free to win. You don't have to pay for any of the songs or any visuals or anything like that, or in order to get better at the game. It's all skill based, but there is a sort of subscription service that gives some quality of life features. And one of those is some of these rankings, so you can see the rankings of people on your friend list. And if you do have a score on the map, then it will jump you straight down to your own score. Or if you have a score on that leaderboard, then it'll jump you straight down. So it jumped me all the way down here, even though this is number 79. Oh god, so many people on my friend list have this map. But yeah, I want to look at my local rankings. This is all old scores of mine. These have no name on them because I guess probably I played them offline, but or I was locked out of my account. So yeah, a couple bits of information here. So again, you can see the letter ranking. If you mouse over it, right, there's some more information, such as when the score was set. This number, okay, I was actually confused about this number for so long. Like, what does this mean? But this means, so the arrow means that the score is recent, and then the text after it shows how recent it is. So it says that the score was submitted 9 minutes ago. So it goes back all the way 3 days, I'm pretty sure. So like 3D is the newest number that you'll see. So if you ever see a score on the rankings that are, or that has this arrow at the bottom, or not the bottom, but like next to the score, then that's what that means. Okay, so now it just updated to 10M because now it's been 10 minutes. Other numbers, everything here is somewhat self-explanatory, I think, except for this plus number, which just shows you how much score that one has compared to the one below it. So these two scores are very, very similar. They're both 100%. But this one is plus 1100, and that came from spinner bonus points. So once you finish a spinner, you know, that the object where you just spin in a circle, if you spin really, really quickly, then you'll get some bonus points, and that is where that came from. So apparently I spun a little faster than I did in 2016, so that's cool. Yeah, as far as these the episode lengths, I'll try to keep them around probably 15 to 25 minutes. Let me turn this down so I can talk. Oh yeah, that is another thing, changing the volume. Okay, so if you are in the main menu, which I'll go back here. If you're in the main menu, you can use your scroll wheel to change the volume. Just scroll up and down. There's 3 different thingies. You can put your mouse on them, and like if I just want to change the music volume or the effect volume, then I just put my mouse on it and use my scroll wheel. Or you use the arrow keys, up arrow and down arrow. And then if you want to select music or effects, you use left and right arrows to toggle between them. I'm pretty sure that's the only 2 ways to change the volume, but oh, right, so scrolling changes it in increments of 5, like this. Or you can use your mouse to, like, I guess, drag it up and down. So you hold down left click and drag it like that. Oh, actually, yeah, there's another way. You can change it in your options. So this bit, volume, you can also change it here. It's the same numbers. So I'm dragging my cursor in the options menu, and it is changing it there as well. So you can do that in the main menu, but you can actually do that anywhere. Hold down left alt. So okay, so typically if you scroll, then that's to control the song select panels thingy. But if you hold down left alt, then now if I use my scroll wheel, it'll change the volume. So that is how you do that. And also if I hold alt and use arrow keys. So yeah, so that is that. But anyway, regarding the episode lengths, I will, yeah, let me turn this down. So I'll try to keep them probably around 15 to 25 minutes. As far as I guess, gameplay content that you'll see here, I will probably try to pick maps that, I guess either just maps that I like, or maps that I want to share with you guys, or maps that are, I guess, a good example of a certain concept that I want to show you guys, or really, I don't know, it can be anything, but that's probably what I will focus on the most. Um, as far as gameplay, so if you recognize my name as a player already in this game, it is probably for tournament gameplay. Um, so I do play tournaments. If you want to watch me play live, that will probably, or if you want to watch me play tournaments, I should say, or if you want to watch me play live in general, that is more content for my Twitch live stream, which you can check out linked in the description, where I stream every day. Not always Osu, but I do stream every day. But yeah, this series is probably going to focus a bit more on solo gameplay or just showing you guys maps, or really just being a platform for me to talk to you guys and share things, because that's totally awesome. um, but yeah, to wrap things up, actually, I'm not actually sure how long I've been recording for. Oh, 26 minutes. Okay, yeah. So I'll try to keep episodes around this long so that they're digestible. Um, for the most part, these episodes might probably just be me talking, but I might bring some guests and things like that. But um, yeah, that's about it. I think oh, okay, one last thing is goals, I guess, like over a long period of time with this series. Since OC doesn't really have long-term or like, storyline like I was mentioning earlier, um you really create your own goals in this game, and it's very, I guess, skill oriented in that regard. Um Current goals as of now, I guess, is just do well in my tournaments. So you might see me practicing for tournaments in some of these episodes, and I can talk a bit about how I personally do that, so you can take some inspiration maybe if you want to get into your own tournaments. But um, yeah, I'm excited to continue with this series. Hopefully, you guys find this enjoyable. But um, yeah, leave a comment. Let me know if you have suggestions of songs that you want me to play or something like that. You can put those in the comments. Be sure to share this series with anyone you think might be interested. And if you're watching this series in the future, I'm sure there are many uh, future episodes that I have already made that you can go check out. But aside from that, thanks for watching, everyone, and I will see you guys next time.